Well, the football manager gods have not been kind to us. We are here for what is becoming an annual tradition with the Carabao Cup final here at Wolverhampton Wanderers, but we have got problems. We've got cup ties, we've got suspensions, we've got injuries, including an injury to our best player, Michael Shockwist. Maybe that's what we need to win a cup final in the Carabao Cup. I don't know. Let's find out. Hi there, how you doing? Welcome to part number 21 of Club 3 of the MyCareer save here on Football Manager. My name is Stu. Thank you for joining me in today's video where we are, of course, with Club 3, which is Wolverhampton Wanderers, and we are just having the one game today, and it is against Tottenham Hotspur in the Carabao Cup final. It was between Tottenham and Bradford. I wanted it to be Bradford. It's not Bradford, so we're going to see whether we can get the job done today. Again, just as a reminder, in our kind of recent history in the cup competition, that's this season, that was last season, that was the season before. We're veterans of losing in this particular tournament final, so hopefully today that does not happen. But if you're excited to see whether we can actually finally lift this trophy, then don't forget to leave a big like on the video for me. And if you want to keep up to date with all the future content, hit that subscribe button. It'll put a big smile on this face right here. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, if we don't win this competition, it's not the end of the world. It's not like we've not won other stuff, but I don't know. I'm going to be irritated if we can't win this at Wolves. I really will be, considering how we keep getting to the finals. In terms of how we've been doing recently, it's not been that many games since the Newcastle game. The biggest surprise is us beating Manchester City, probably. We beat them with a 95th minute winner from Patricio Jara, of all people. Very interesting game, but there is the big news. That is Michael Shockwist being injured, out for a couple of weeks, up to a month, I think it was. He's about a week away, I think, from being fit, but he's just not fit enough. So that's injury news number one, but that's not even the worst. Well, that is the worst of it, actually. He's the one player I'd trade him for all of the other injuries if I could get him back. Ben Cook's also injured, but he has had an injection. It happened literally between the last game we played and this one. So hopefully he can still perform. He is going to start. We've got Caceres and Aka who can jump him. Jara could do a job as well. We've also lost Fernandez, who, you know, that's the worst one possible because he was literally going to be the replacement for Shockwist, and then he goes and gets suspended, which is really irritating. We also don't have Al-Gamdi, who has started brilliantly. What a signing he's been. I want him on a permanent next season. He's fantastic. But it doesn't matter because he's cup tied, so we can't use him today. Nansen Juan probably wouldn't be playing anyway, but he is also cup tied from his time at Charlton. And Van der Voort, our backup goalkeeper, who would have been playing today, he is our cup goalkeeper. He's also injured, as is Jack Grealish, but we already knew that one. He's still 2 months away. He's probably not going to play another game for us, which is a bit sad. So, yeah. That's where we're at. This is the 11 that we're going to be using for the cup final against Spurs, and hopefully it's enough to get us through. I don't know whether it will be, but we'll certainly give it a go. It is Trafford in goal, Leifson, Marino, Wino and Nuri in defence, Hintz, Holwood and Andre in the middle, with McKernan and O'Reilly as the attacking midfield too, with McKernan obviously playing slightly out wide, and Atuesta and Cook are going to be the two up front. I have had a bit of a tactical fiddle, not much on this tactic, but I have kind of fiddled with another couple of tactics. Against Aston Villa, which was the game before this, we went 1-0 down, and I changed to this with these two this way round. And I got to tell you, it looked great. So this might be the future tactic. I know I've said that about so many other tactics, but McKernan set to go stay wider worked quite well. He was devastating in that game. So, and also Atuesta got a hat-trick as well. So this might be the future. I've said that about many tactics, I know, but this might be the future. I've also set up an uber attacking tactic if we desperately need a goal, just because it felt like a fun thing to do. But we're obviously going to be sticking with the standard one today, just to be on the safe side. Let's just make sure everyone's playing where they should be. Yes, they are. Right, well, no time like the present. It is time for the cup final. Let's see whether we can lift some more silverware, but more importantly, lift the Carabao Cup for the first time. It's mad. We've won the FA Cup before the Carabao Cup. We've won the Europa League before the Carabao Cup. And in order of importance, the Carabao Cup is probably the least important in theory. But it's the one I want to win because it's the one I've yet to win. So if I don't win it, I'm going to be very irritated. So let's see whether we can quell the irritation and stop me from wanting to throw my monitor out the window, because, you know, that wouldn't be good. I mean, I have got 2 of them, so it's not the end of the world if I did throw my monitor out the window. I could still get by, but I don't really want to, because I probably also need a new window. What am I rabbiting on about? Right, Carabao Cup final. Let's go. Let's see whether we can beat Spurs. I didn't quite catch where Spurs were in the league, actually, so that's probably something we should have looked at just to see how they're doing. I've got in my head that Spurs are always going to be at least a sort of good team, so, you know, we would expect they're going to probably give us a good game here, but we want to try and make sure that we can get them. The biggest loss, again, is Shawquist in this game. Admittedly, the last couple of games before the injury, he wasn't doing as well as he had been, but I think it was because we were playing him into the ground because of how good he'd been. He was almost a victim of his own success, and also a victim... Oh, it's an early conceded goal. We have been quite guilty of that all season. No matter what tactic we've used, I think just the set of players we've got, they're just eligible for early mistakes, eligible for just switching off a little bit. And the worst possible news that we could have is that Atuesta's picked up a knock now as well. That's very irritating. It's early on. We've conceded a goal. Our striker's injured. His partner is also injured, but he's trying to soldier through. We're apparently getting lots of shots. Right. I'm making the call early to go to this tactic. I don't know whether it's a wise thing to do. I'm also taking low crosses off because I did that as well and it worked quite well. I'm making the call quite early. I don't really want to take Atuesta off, but I just don't want to risk a worse injury. So Aka's going to come on. Aka's been great, so I've got no problem with him playing, to be fair. And McKernan will come inside and hopefully he can drift out a little bit. We're gonna have to do that out of necessity, I think, because well, we need to take off Atuesta anyway. And just with the way that this played against Villa, I want to see if it works again. And if we're going to take personnel off, we're going to change people around, we might as well give it a go. Immediately our possession's gone up a little bit, which is a good sign. But we need to see some highlights with us actually attacking. None of the boys have turned up so far, so we need to see something pretty quickly. 1-0 down. It would just be our luck to lose yet another cup final in this particular competition. Right, we have a highlight. Leifson with the throw. Gets it to Hinselwood. Back to Leifson. Leifson now. Into McKernan. And I tell you what, Lewis McKernan, he didn't impress me as an attacking midfielder before. He's had his secondment as a right wing back. He's then played a little bit as a right winger. And as an attacking midfielder, he looks the business when he's set to play a little bit wider. But he's not even doing that here. He's in the box, turning and shooting. Shooting's not his strongest point, but it's not the first goal he's scored since, like, I can't remember whether he scored against Villa, but he definitely made an impact on the game. He played very well indeed. So that's a great equaliser, and all of a sudden we're back in this game. It is a very, very close game. Possession's identical. Their passing's a bit better than ours. XG's slightly better than ours, but we've had more shots on target. We've also committed more fouls, but we're not going to talk about that. I'm happy with how we've turned that around. I don't really know what to say. It's recommending from the assistant manager, Klaus Norgard, that I say that one. Let's pump the fists and say that. It's motivated the square total of bugger all. So we'll say that one. We'll tell Andre he needs to do better. We'll tell like Nuri and Awina, the entire defence, in fact, that they need to do better. And we'll tell James Trafford he needs to do better as well. And then the remaining ones, we'll just try and G them up a little bit. I probably should tell McKernan to be a bit more careful, but I'm not going to do that. We're just going to go into the second half now. Right. Fire the boys up. We've got it in us to win this one. We know that we do. So let's go out there and win it, actually. Right, now we've got a real problem going forward. Not necessarily for today, although it is a problem, but Ben Cook's now injured. So we've now lost both of our strikers. Well, I mean, we can make a change to do it to sort it for today. And it gives Santiago Caceres a chance in the team. I don't really want it to be a cup final that happens in, but the last thing we needed for a cup final was to lose like our most potent attacking threats. Although admittedly Ben Cook hasn't necessarily been scoring a lot recently, it's still frustrating. Right, let's just try and push through here. It's a throw into Spurs in their defensive half. Can we press them and get the ball off of them? They go back to Vicario, who goes to Gray. Gray, oh, I thought he'd made a mistake there. We just weren't quite sharp enough to get to it. Right, can we get the ball off of one of these guys? We're kind of letting them pass it around without worrying about intercepting them too much. I'd rather us be a little bit more urgent to kind of get the press in, to get the ball off of them. We're letting them have the time on the ball here, and this will lead to a goal if we don't do anything. Leeson should have intercepted there, and Trafford has to make the save. I'm going to go attacking. I'm going to go for it. We're going to go for it now. We're kind of letting them do what they want, and I'm not overly happy about it. I'm also looking at substitutions that we can make. Right, looping cross ends up with Trafford. Are we going to get a counter-attack on this highlight? No, he's going to wait and deliver it. Okay, that's fine. Right, we need to make some changes. Eitner is coming off for Bayer. Simple as that. Bayer's the better fullback now. We know that anyway. That's not me just being annoyed at him. He genuinely is. Owino hasn't had a great game. I'm struggling to get a great game when these two play together, so it's a little bit frustrating. Ute is going to come on. Marine's doing okay, and then we've got one final change to make. O'Reilly will be that change, and it'll probably be Jara who comes on, although D'Ambrosio could do the job there. But again, we're so short because of injuries, suspensions, cup tiredness. It is frustrating, but it is what it is. Right, I want to demand more from the boys again. It's a very even game. It will just take one goal to do it. The question is, who's going to get that goal? Right, we need to press these guys a little bit more. Right, Bayer. Great job there from him. Kiko Bayer. Right, he's running with the ball here. He's doing it all himself. He's waiting for that all-important time to cross. He's whipped it in, looking for McKernan. And it's Lewis McKernan. Is he the unlikely hero in this cup final? Signed him from I can't remember what the club in Scotland was, but we signed him from Scotland while we were in the... No, I think we just got promoted from the Championship, actually. But we signed him while we were at Charlton. Didn't really ever show up for us at Charlton. Didn't really show up for us at all until we changed to 3 at the back. Showed he was a good player. Showed he could do a winger job as well, which is his natural position. And then we put him back to attacking midfielder where he didn't do anything. And all of a sudden, he might be the hero. We've still got a lot of football to play in this game. It's not over. Right, we're going to make that final change. I am going to bring on Jara. I've used all my stoppages, so I can't. Okay, yeah, because of the injury. That's really annoying. Okay. Fine. If we concede another and we go to added time, or extra time rather, we'll have the substitution available then. We'll have 2, in fact, so fine. We'll stick with what we've got. I'm not changing anything tactically. If we score another, I will try and waste time, but I'm not doing anything until we've done that, or I'll just leave it as it is if we don't. Whipped in. Another opportunity there. Ute, I think, was the one on the head. It had Caceres highlighted, but I think it was Ute with the opportunity. We know he's an absolute unit from set pieces. What an even game this has been, but we are in now added time. We might be about to finally win the Carabao Cup. Is it third time's a charm? Is Andre going to lift it? He is going to lift it. We finally win the Carabao Cup. Most people, when they play Football Manager, especially if they've won other tournaments, they don't necessarily care that much about the Carabao Cup. The only reason I care about it as much as I do on this particular video is because the last 2 seasons, we have not been able to get past whoever we've played. And we've played good teams each time, Arsenal and Manchester City. And last season, we lost against Arsenal on penalties. That was heartbreaking. So to come from behind with all of the injuries that we've got, the suspensions, the important player who was cup-tied in Al-Ghamdi at right back, to get over all of that and an injury in the game to Ben Cook, who was already injured, and another injury to our star striker, and to pull out the win, Lewis McKernan, MVP of the game, in the right place at the right time. And I do think that may have swayed me. I'm doing yet another tactical change probably to this system. This actually, with the personnel we've got, if McKernan can play as an attacking midfielder, it makes the most sense. I mean, Trafford didn't have a great game. He was never meant to play. It was meant to be Van der Voort. O'Reilly didn't have a great game either, which is rare for him. He usually has at least a decent game. He usually gets a 6.8 or 6.9 minimum. Very rare underperformance from him. Ben Cook was doing okay until the injury, and Atuesta, we just didn't want to risk him. That is fantastic. We have a trophy this season. I wasn't necessarily concerned about not getting a trophy this season. I'm not counting that weird Europa League version of the UEFA Super Cup against the South American Europa League winners. I don't know what their tournament's called, but I don't really count that. That feels more like a Community Shield. To win a proper trophy makes me happy. Oh my word, look at how long he's out for. Ben Cook's done for the season. We're in February now, so 7 months. So March, April, May, June, July, August, September. He's out until next season's already begun. At 21 years old. He's not necessarily done, but that is a bad injury for him to have. The one good thing, the one positive thing that I will say, he has not got much pace. That would probably, I think, would affect his pace. I'm not 100% sure on that. Correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. I feel like this would affect his pace. It's not going to really worry us because he doesn't have much pace to begin with. But that's bad. What about Atuesta? Oh, thank God for that. If he'd have been out for that as well, I'd have been absolutely furious. Right, okay, we can live with Atuesta being the one who's fit. That's absolutely fine. We've pleased everyone. We've pleased everyone. Ben Cook. So, this is clearly the injury that he had before the game. This is the injury he picked up in the game. They were not the same. I mean, I'll leave it to the physio. Hopefully the game might get a bit confused and just have him out for 2 weeks. We'll praise McKernan because what a performance that was. We were also definitely in Europe next season. I mean, we're top of the league. I don't think we're going to be having to worry about the Conference League. Have we moved up from here? Are we still favourite personnel? No, we're still favourite personnel. We're there along with Michael Schockquist. Hang on. This guy's literally just joined. He's literally only played how many games for us? 3 games. And he's already on favoured personnel. Admittedly, he's on an 8.6 for those 3 games. I can kind of understand it. But still, I think the fans need to have a word, quite frankly. Fernandez is also on the icons list. I'd dispute that heavily. I would say Schockquist deserves to be there more than him. I'd say I deserve to be there more than him. I'm getting riled up about things that aren't worth getting riled up about. Right, well, that was very good. We did the job. We did exactly what we needed to do. Just to confirm as well, Spurs are in 9th place, so we really should have beat them there. But again, with how wiped out our squad was, that is so depressing to see both of our top strikers. But missing both of them. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in that last game. Key players with injuries of some description, or with an injury within the game as well. We did very well to get through that. Right, I'm going to go away and we're going to come back for the Champions League, which has still not been drawn. We still don't know who we're playing. I don't know when the draw is. I'm assuming it's after the playoffs have been played, but I don't know when they are. I could check, but I'm not going to because I'm too lazy. So we'll just wait and see what happens, and we'll let fates decide who we play. Let's have a quick sneaky look, actually, because this video is going to be a tiny bit shorter than the rest. My videos are very long, I do know. Let's have a quick look at the playoffs. So we've got Valencia versus Bayer Leverkusen. So that is a Valencia win, I do believe. Yes, it is. We have Galatasaray versus Spurs. Spurs have made it through. Atalanta versus Bayern Munich. Atalanta have made it through. Ajax versus Real Madrid. Real Madrid obviously making it through. And then first leg results, which are still waiting for a second leg, are Sporting are beating Man United 2-1. Juventus and Frankfurt are 2-2. Liverpool are 3-1 up at Leipzig. And Genk and Newcastle are all square at 1 apiece. So some interesting results there. I'm a bit surprised Atalanta have made it through. Maybe a bit surprised Valencia made it through as well, but, you know, it is what it is. We are in the future. It'll be interesting to see if Sporting can keep their victory, if Frankfurt can just nudge ahead of Juventus, if Leipzig can make a comeback, or whether Liverpool will go through. And whether Genk can get a surprising victory over Newcastle as well. That'll be very surprising. But that is going to be for another video. So, until the next one, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed today, and if you want to celebrate our Carabao Cup final win at the 3rd time of asking, leave a like on the video for me and hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any content in the future. I've been Stu, you guys have been awesome, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.